Daniel wiped his greasy hands on the rag hanging from his pocket and looked at the old sedan parked in front of his modest auto shop. The car had been towed in just an hour ago, its hood rattling, smoke escaping like a wounded soldier breathing its last. He had seen hundreds of cars in this condition, but what caught his attention this time wasn't the car. It was the woman standing beside it, worry written all over her face. Her name was Claire. She had rushed into the shop with hesitant steps, her dark hair falling into her face as she nervously explained what had happened. Her voice trembled, not just with stress about the car, but with the weight of something heavier. Daniel, a single dad who had been raising his 7-year-old daughter Lily alone, noticed these little things. He knew the sound of exhaustion in someone's tone, the kind that comes from fighting battles no one else can see. "Don't worry," Daniel said gently, lifting the hood. "Let me take a look. I'll figure it out." Claire nodded, but her eyes betrayed doubt. Mechanics had overcharged her before, and money was already tight. She stood nearby, clutching her purse like it was the only anchor she had left in a storm. As Daniel worked, Lily came running from the small play area in the back of the shop. She had been sketching pictures in her notebook, waiting for her dad to finish for the day. Lily was a bright, observant child, too observant sometimes. She paused when she saw Claire, then peeked into the car's backseat. A little girl about her age sat inside, hugging a worn teddy bear. Their eyes met, and both smiled shyly, as if they had discovered a secret only they shared. Daniel tinkered with the engine for nearly 20 minutes before finally shutting the hood. "It's fixed," he said simply. Claire blinked in surprise. "Already?" He shrugged. "Just a loose belt and a clogged filter. Nothing too serious." Her shoulders sagged with relief, but then her expression hardened. "How much do I owe you?" Daniel shook his head. "Nothing." Her eyes widened. "What do you mean, nothing? You worked on it." "Yeah," Daniel said with a half smile. "But it didn't take much. Save your money. You've got enough on your plate, I can tell." Claire opened her mouth to argue, but before she could, Lily tugged on her father's sleeve and whispered urgently. Daniel bent down, thinking she wanted to show him a new drawing. Instead, Lily cupped her tiny hands around his ear and spoke in the softest, most serious tone. "Daddy," she said, "that's her. She's the one." Daniel frowned. "The one?" Lily nodded quickly, her brown eyes shining with a mix of certainty and hope. "That's her. That's my mom. Please marry her." For a moment, Daniel was too stunned to speak. He glanced at Claire, who was busy thanking him again, her back turned, unaware of the little conversation taking place. Then he looked at his daughter, whose face held no trace of a joke. She believed every word. "Lily," he whispered, brushing hair from her cheek, "you don't even know her." "I do," Lily insisted, with the stubborn faith only a child could carry. "I can feel it. She's kind. She smiled at me, and the little girl in the car, she looks like me. We could be a family." Daniel's heart tightened. Ever since Lily's mother had walked out on them years ago, she had longed for something more, for someone to fill the empty space in their lives. But Daniel had buried that hope deep inside, focusing only on raising his daughter and keeping his small shop alive. He never allowed himself to dream of more, because dreaming meant risking heartbreak. Still, Lily's words echoed in his chest. "She's my mom. Please marry her." Daniel stood up slowly, his eyes returning to Claire. She looked tired, yes, but there was warmth in her smile, a gentleness in the way she spoke to her daughter, who now stepped out of the car to stand beside her. The resemblance between the two little girls was striking, the same curious eyes, the same tentative grin. Fate, it seemed, had arranged a quiet meeting in front of his shop. Claire glanced up at him. "Thank you again. I don't know how to repay you." "You don't need to," Daniel said softly. But as he spoke, Lily reached out and slipped her small hand into Claire's. The woman blinked in surprise but didn't pull away. Instead, she looked down at Lily with a tenderness that made Daniel's throat tighten. It was the look of a mother, the look his daughter had missed for so long. For the first time in years, Daniel felt something stir in his chest, something he had carefully locked away: hope. The sound of the two girls laughing together filled the air, innocent and bright, and Daniel couldn't help but think that maybe Lily's whisper wasn't just the fantasy of a child. Maybe it was a glimpse of a future waiting to be written. Dash dash dash. The afternoon sun dipped lower as Claire prepared to leave. Sophie, her daughter, clung to her hand, her teddy bear pressed tightly against her chest. Lily still lingered by her side, chatting as if they had known each other forever. Daniel leaned against the shop's doorway, watching the scene unfold with a strange warmth spreading through him. "Mom," Sophie whispered, tugging on Claire's arm. "Can we come back here again? Please." Claire looked down at her daughter, puzzled. "Why, honey, the car's fine now." Sophie hesitated, then peeked at Lily. "Because I like her. She's nice." Daniel caught the exchange and felt his heart squeeze. Children were honest in ways adults rarely were. He saw the longing in Sophie's eyes, the same kind that lived in Lily's. Something inside him stirred, a quiet recognition that both girls were searching for the same thing. Claire gave a polite smile and thanked Daniel once more, ushering Sophie into the car. But before she closed the door, Daniel spoke. "Wait," he said, surprising even himself. "Why don't you join us for dinner? Nothing fancy, just homemade spaghetti. My daughter says it's my specialty." Claire froze, clearly taken aback. She glanced at Sophie, who nodded eagerly, then back at Daniel. For a moment, she seemed torn. Finally, she exhaled. "All right, dinner sounds nice." That evening, Daniel found himself setting the table in his small but cozy kitchen while Lily bounced with excitement. Claire sat across from him, her daughter beside her. The girls chattered non-stop, comparing drawings and favorite colors as though they had been best friends for years. "So," Daniel said as he passed the salad bowl, "what do you do, Claire?" She hesitated, then answered, "I'm a nurse. Night shifts mostly. It's not easy, but it pays the bills." Daniel nodded. "That explains why you looked so tired today." Her eyes flickered with surprise at his observation, then softened. "Yeah, it's been hard since Sophie's dad left. Some days I feel like I'm barely holding everything together." The honesty in her words struck Daniel. He recognized that same weight, the loneliness hidden behind brave smiles. "I get it," he said quietly. "Lily's mom left when she was a baby. It's been just the two of us ever since." Claire's eyes met his across the table, and for a moment neither spoke. It wasn't pity, nor was it judgment. It was understanding, the kind only two people walking the same road could share. Dinner passed with laughter, and when the girls insisted on ice cream afterward, Daniel offered to walk them all to the corner shop. The cool evening air wrapped around them as the two little ones skipped ahead, hand in hand. Behind them, Daniel and Claire walked. Slowly. "They seem to get along well," Claire said, watching the girls. "Like they've known each other forever," Daniel agreed. There was silence for a beat, then Claire asked, "Why did you fix my car for free?" Daniel shrugged. "Because you looked like you needed a break. Sometimes the smallest kindness makes the biggest difference.
Sweetie.
And maybe, I just wanted to help." Claire's eyes glistened, though she quickly blinked it away. "People don't usually do that for me. Thank you." When they returned to Daniel's house, the girls begged for a little more time together. Claire reluctantly agreed, sipping coffee at the kitchen counter while Daniel cleaned up. The comfortable quiet between them felt unusual yet natural, as though their lives had always been meant to overlap. As the night stretched on, Claire finally stood. "We should go. It's getting late." The girls groaned in unison, pleading for another playdate. Claire laughed softly and promised Sophie they'd visit again soon. At the door, as Daniel held it open, Lily tugged at his sleeve again, whispering urgently. "Daddy, don't let her go. She's perfect for us." He smiled faintly and brushed her cheek. "Patience, sweetheart." Claire caught the tender exchange, though she pretended not to. Still, something about it touched her deeply. She saw not just a mechanic, but a father who adored his daughter, a man who understood love and responsibility in ways she rarely encountered. Weeks passed, and dinners together became more frequent. Claire would bring homemade soup on her days off, while Daniel fixed small things in her apartment that had gone untouched for months. Sophie and Lily became inseparable, building forts, sharing secrets, and calling each other sisters before anyone could stop them. One evening, while the girls played in the yard, Claire stood beside Daniel on the porch. The setting sun painted the sky in shades of gold. She turned to him, her voice low. "I don't know how this happened so fast, but it feels right." Being here with you, with Lily. Daniel looked at her, his chest tightening. I feel the same. For a long time, I thought it would just be me and Lily forever. But now, he trailed off, unable to finish. Claire reached for his hand, and he didn't pull away. The silence between them said everything. Just then, Lily's voice rang out across the yard, loud and clear. Daddy, ask her. Please marry her. Both adults froze, their cheeks burning as the girls giggled. Claire's eyes widened, then softened with amusement. She's persistent, she said. Daniel chuckled nervously, scratching the back of his neck. Yeah, she's been saying that since the day we met. Claire's laughter faded, replaced by a gentle seriousness. Maybe she sees something we're too scared to admit. Daniel's heart pounded. He looked at Claire, really looked at her, the woman who had walked into his shop by chance, whose daughter had become like family, whose smile now felt like home. I don't know about marriage yet, he said softly, but I do know I don't want to imagine life without you in it. Claire's eyes filled with tears, and she nodded. Me neither. The girls cheered as though they had just won a prize, wrapping their small arms around both adults. In that moment, Daniel realized Lily had been right all along. This wasn't just coincidence, it was the missing piece of their lives, falling into place. For the first time in years, Daniel allowed himself to dream of a future filled with love, laughter, and family. And as Claire leaned her head against his shoulder, he knew that dream was finally within reach.